It's Aura.
Yahweh, Yahweh, lift him higher, Yahweh, lift him higher, lift him higher. Yahweh, Yahweh, lift him higher, Yahweh, lift him higher, lift him higher. Yahweh, Yahweh, lift him higher, Yahweh, lift him higher, higher, higher. He's the Lord who's mighty in battle. He's the Lord who took our pains and sorrows. He promised to be with us till the end. That's why we'll lift his name higher. Yahweh, Yahweh, lift him higher, Yahweh. Come lift him higher. Come lift him higher. Yahweh, Yahweh, lift him higher, Yahweh. Come lift him higher. Come lift him higher. He sent his word to heal and deliver. He's Jehovah Jireh, our provider. He's a help in the time of trouble. That's why we lift his name higher. Yahweh, Yahweh, lift him higher, Yahweh. Come lift him higher. Come lift him higher. Yahweh, Yahweh, lift him higher, Yahweh.
Good morning. This is 2A Radio, the African Action Network radio and television station. We are here this morning once again. This is Inside Liberia. We have been away for what I would describe as not the consistency of our broadcast on Inside Liberia, but we have again decided to continue on the path on which we started. So those of you our followers, we want to say thank you for watching, and this is a brand new day in Liberia. This is a new week, and we wish each and every one of you the best of time, whatever the situations are with you. We pray that God will, meet you at the point of your needs, and that He will be there to deliver you and see you through out of this week. Having said that, we are concerned about many things that are unfolding in Liberia, but today there's no specific issue here, and we're not here for a long time. We just thought to, showcase this morning to say that, hey, Inside Liberia will be on its constant path in terms of schedule. And we're also going to be looking at those issues very seriously and see how far we can go. The year has begun, and we are in February. I know there were a lot of predictions, a lot of planning doing. So whatever you are at this stage of your plan for this year, we also hope that you keep on track. This is just the second month. Try as much as possible to adjust yourself. Don't forget, you can go right back to your plans, make changes as necessary as possible, so that before you reach December, you will be able to have something to show, something tangible, something you can say, hey, this is what I did for this year. Okay, but this morning we just want to look at Liberia again and set a stage for this week's discussion. There is 3 important issues that I think we will have to be, let's say we set it as an agenda item for this week. The President's annual message is being delivered. It's been fulfilled. Constitutional fulfillment was made, meaning George Weah, President Weah, did deliver his annual message to the joint session of the legislative branch of government of Liberia. And this is now time that citizens should be discussing what he said. Particularly so those who are lawmakers, they are the one, they wanted to receive the legislative agenda from the executive branch of government. That has happened. All right, what are going to be some of their actions as we go along the line for this year? Also, the president has submitted the status of the country in terms of its financial condition. What is Liberia's financial status right now? If Liberia was one of those countries where people, make decisions on the basis of pronouncement, other fluctuations of like in the United States or other developed countries, you will have major pronouncement affects the economy of the country. So we do not know what presidential pronouncement, something like annual message would do, for Liberia, especially those who are in the business, constant business, trade. So we ask some questions, the president annual message, what is the effect of that on the economy, on the political system, on the social well-being of Liberians, on the governance process? So we might be looking at, we're going to be looking at these things and see what we can make up the president's annual message, and maybe send some of our correspondents in on the field to hear from Liberians. What do they make of the president's annual message? What is the effect of the president's annual message on their lives? Is the annual message realistic to the point where he's reporting to the legislative branch of government? What people are looking at it to say, well, this is a country. This president has done so much work for this last, the 5th year of his 6th term. These are issues that we think Liberian, even civil society organization, is not about hatred. It's not about wanting to discuss issues because you want to get at George Weah as president because you don't want to see him as president. Also, it's not about Liberian discussing this thing and saying, oh, they are hateful people against the president. It's a nation that exists. And we have 5 million persons. The census, we don't know yet, so that we can be quoting figure rightly. But we hope that we get all of these things. I mean, this year is the 6th year of George Weah's last term last year for his first term of office. Whether he's going to be re-elected this year, that's a separate issue in last election. That's what we're going to be discussing more in this year. But primarily this morning, I'm sneezing. Okay, so this year is a jam-packed activities for Liberia and many other African countries. I think Sierra Leone going for elections, likewise Nigeria going for elections. I think some other few countries going to be having elections this year in Africa. So for Liberia, we might just be looking at politics, looking at the economy, looking at the social activities of Liberians. What do they think about the country? What are they living about? What was this last year? How was it like for you? If when Christmas will be good, you will know from the eve. So before you go and cast your vote this year, you may have been telling, or you should be telling people that yes, 6 years was good for me. I need another 6 years. Maybe my project that I started in the 6th year, I will be able to complete it if I take this political decision. Or my project that didn't start, if I add another 6 years, I may not continue because condition is still not favorable. So these are decisions. We hope those who study economy will be able to sometimes be able to dissect and be able to tell Liberian, look, these are the decisions you can take. Let's say, for example, if my salary is about $1,000 and the $1,000 was not forthcoming as I expected, then I'll be asking myself some questions. I will either be asking myself to find a new job, to transition, and make my situation better. But my salary was $1,000 and I was able to maintain a stable home. I was able to take care of my children. And I was able to do the lot and even save some little money. Then, of course, there's no need to bother anything around me. Then I will not have to even think about changing the political system. I will want to maintain a political system because I will know things will be better for me, or think it's better for me. Right? That's the reason why decision making is very important in the life of everyone. The decision you make could affect you. I'm not talking to you, I'm even talking to my very self here, right? Decision-making process is very important. So we all have to follow. Sometimes it's like you look at your own activities that you are planning, you have to change things around, you have to adjust yourself. Sometimes you make some plans. So look, I have to do this, and you realize you look into what you are planning to do, and you know it's not going to be very realistic for you. You change your plan, right? You change your plan, you because you want at the end of the day, you want to have a successful story. You want to have something that you, and this is where if you have the workforce, most of developing countries, people like in America, people monitor um the economic activities. And okay, there was some like the America last month. There's economic report that last month there were more jobs, right? There was more job. So the federal now is trying to tighten some of you know the their economy. So even the financial market, everybody is trying to follow through on major event. I think Joe Biden will be delivering his annual message, right? From this, so people are watching out. America is for them. They understand that major pronouncement, major decisions in the economy. Definitely, even a day you can have a serious drop in the financial on the financial market. You can have a rise, especially the big financial institutions. So for Liberia, we don't know the measurement. We don't know who are those who really. In fact, I don't think there's anything like that going on in Liberia. Even though we have economists in that country, but we don't think there's been a system set up so much that the Liberian will understand the effect of major events. The only thing we know most often is if there's major demonstrations, stores are closed, and people don't have the time to go in the market. Those are the things the the little things that people monitor. Other than that, except major thing like in the past, civil war or crisis and other stuff. Other than that, I don't think there's anything. Okay, you know what? The central bank make pronouncement on the basis of okay, the rate drops today. Maybe it happens, but the ordinary people, like the way those in America are so concerned because the prices of goods go up almost every time, or it drops. And at the end of the day, people complain, and people I out of you have more people going to the stores shopping, and when I go to some of these shopping centers, I see how people monitor people, and some of the people, ordinary people, you don't even see. Like for example, you have one single man or a few persons standing outside the store. They have phones in their hand, and technology these days is so much of importance. And people that most of us that use this technology, we don't even open our eyes to watch what is going on. But it's like people do all that they can to know how many persons enter the store in a day and how many persons left in a day. So, for example, you go to Walmart, a particular Walmart, at the end of the day, they will know how many persons went in there, how many persons bought, how many persons did not buy, or people do that tally not on the basis of only financial thing. Okay, we sold this amount of money today, or this, and that. But even the people movement into the store and out of the store are monitored. Maybe because this is a developed world, so we sense these things. But the reason why we discuss some of those things, like when we want to apply to Africa, because Africa is a developing country. Let's say most of the African countries are developing countries, not developing, they are underdeveloped countries, right? Like Liberia. So the best you can do most often is you find people should adapt to systems so that Liberians can be better, so that people can be seen as, helping to better their society. In the absence of that, you don't have, everybody cannot just live like nothing is happening, you know. So this is where we want to be emphasizing this. For this week, we want to talk about the president's annual message. And the second thing we want to talk about is this whole media cloud. I'm talking media because of this Spoon fellow, and not just him, but what the U.S. government is now discussing, climbing down on the issue of this fake nursing school or certification of people I think it was 7,600 persons are now being questioned, as to their involvement into, acquiring fake medical degree. And it's unfortunate that some of our brothers and sisters from that part of the world are like caught up, with this kind of a situation. And I was telling somebody, these are situations, and it's not about shying away from discussing it. You can discuss it and look at. The more you discuss it, sometimes it put people on their guard, make people to think like, look, not everything that look good is good. Okay, you want to go to school. Sometimes you say you so much yearning for school. Somebody say, okay, we get a school here. We can pay $15,000 and get a degree. You must ask all of the hard questions. Like when I got ready for school, I want to find the first thing that I want to know the rating of the school that I want to go to. When you want to graduate from school, even if you're not an A, B, C student or not an honor student, you must find yourself in a school that at least when you get out of there, even you don't get a job, but the prestige, the name will follow you thereafter. So it's difficult. So now you look at the money, the sum of money people want to pay. And for most of us who come from a very poor background, you don't want to venture into this kind of situation where you be caught up with debt, right? But look, sometimes, like in one situation could just mess you up. So best to do is to discuss some of those things, look at the pro and the con, and you want to advise other Liberians what is possible, what you should do most often. When you're searching for information, you should always liaise with people, ask questions, so that the decision you make cannot, cause you a serious harm that would derail almost your whole life. So we're going to be discussing these issues, and another thing that we are more concerned about too is the fewer actions that the United States government is thinking of taking. That we are hearing, and I read from one of the local dailies that the catch of arms that were found in Liberia. I think the U.S. government, the ambassador to Liberia, is also emphasizing that, look, those who were transporters of those arms or catch of arms to Liberia will have to face the full weight of the law. Now, I'm thinking because information we got, the arm came from America to that of the part of the world. So it means that if that information is true, I'm very sure America, before you can go and buy arm, I don't know how you can get that done without the system or the people here knowing about it. So if any of those who are involved in it, I know for sure prosecution awaits those persons. So we might be having some, further discussion on this issue. And not only that, there are unfolding events, and so we will keep our eyes on some of those things. Again, this is to a radio. We're going to keep our timing. The only difference we're going to reduce our time from 7 to 6 o'clock in the morning, because at 7 o'clock, 7:30, the maximum should be out of the house. So go out and find some time to go to work, so to speak. So we have to keep it simple, and our guests will be away from them. So we're going to start all of those things anew and see how best we can double up on what we're going to be doing. So that's what I have for you this morning, and not a long discussion, but just keep in mind, this is a new year. This is the second month, and whatever your dreams are for this year, don't forget. Keep looking at it. If you wrote it down always time, look at it, scratch out some things, add it up. The activities that you have to achieve, keep watching those things. Use it like, if you have a freezer or you have a cupboard, just write maybe in short sentences and put it there so you can keep focus on those things. And we see, I'm talking about my very self. Decision making, planning is very important. Keep that in mind. Until then, this is the African Action Network radio and television station, and this is Inside Liberia. Wherever you are, stay tuned. We are here, and we are on it because you are there. Thank you so much, and have a pleasant and a wonderful day.
The Lord is worthy of our praise. Let the name of Jesus high. Somebody shout me, Jesus. Yahweh, Yahweh, lift him higher, Yahweh. Come lift him higher. him higher, Yahweh.